Hi everyone, you're welcome to Sam Center. Without any much ado, we are going to go ahead with our series on life abroad. So today I would like to talk about errors that can easily land a foreigner in particular into jail. And in some cases, I'll be letting you know how to avoid them. Most of my stories, like I always say, are coming from experience. And it's also a chance for you to ask me if you have, further questions, either in the comment section or to leave me an email. The first issue which will land you to jail is visa overstay. Yeah, many people come into countries, they have no idea about what a visa is all about. A visa is simply a permit, for example, to be in a country, like I always say in my podcasts and videos. And once you are done with your permit, for example, if you are permitted to be in that country for 30 days, it means that they have given you 30 days for the purpose in which you want to fulfill in that particular country. When it's 30 days, you are expected to leave the country. If you are not done with your activity yet, you can extend your visa. Even if it's 1 year, you can extend after that if the country allows you. Otherwise, you are expected to leave the country. If you refuse to leave, then you get into what we call overstay. And in that case, you become undocumented, illegal, so to say. And most often, it is interpreted to mean you have some other intentions, which are probably unusual. And in such cases, you could be fished out, arrested, and then find yourself in jail. So, to be on the safer side, always track your expiry date so that you are not caught by time. The next most important issue which you need to guard against is working without proper authorization. Every foreigner, be you a student or tourist, you are expected to have, an express work permit if you want to engage in some maybe meaningful income earning activity in that country. Otherwise, if you are found working, that's really a contravention of your visa, especially tourists and students. So always try to find out and probably get a work permit if that's what is needed from you. Other people travel with, substances, drugs, and things like that. Most people do it unconsciously. I take it for granted that before you want to travel, you've had enough orientation about assisting people in carrying things. You need to do a lot of research on what not to carry, contrabands and things like that, so that you don't run yourself into problems. There are a lot of people who have innocently helped others, and while transporting whatever they were transporting, it was realized that these are substances which could be drugs, things that are not allowed, and that can as well land you into jail. The fourth issue is traveling with false or fake documents. Some people, they get fake certificates. Some people even go as far as getting fake visas. You forget to realize that all of these things will be checked in the system. We are now in a modern world, so you cannot, really fake documents and think that you might go free. It's really risky for you. So to be on the safer side, it's always advisable to use your legally issued documents. Another issue which can land you into jail, many people fall for this, is driving without a permit. Especially if you have an accident, that's automatic jail time followed by deportation. So I advise you, when you go to a country, try to get an international driver's license or get a local license from the competent authority in that country. Driving without a license, especially in Europe, USA, and in fact, almost everywhere, is a serious crime. And then when you go to some of these foreign countries, avoid driving under the influence of alcohol. If you know you've taken something which is making you a bit tipsy, you drink right to stupor, why not ask your friends to help you? Or better still, you can hire, a taxi and all these other agencies that supply transportation. Without which, if you are found driving under the influence of alcohol, it's another public disorder that can land you into jail. Financial crimes, very important. Many Africans often think that financial crimes simply involve breaking into a bank or robbing somebody's house. No. We now have a lot of wiring. We now have a lot of online business transfers and things like that. Sometimes you find yourself, somebody might ask to use your account for you to probably receive some money, and out of friendship's sake, you decide to accept without knowing the source of that money. That could be money coming in from somewhere else. Additionally, you could find yourself in money laundering, undeclared activities, especially those of us coming in from Africa, where sometimes our businesses are unstructured, and then you think that it is the same for everywhere. That's not the case. So always try to think well, and at best, avoid receiving money from someone whom you don't know the source. and the purpose of that money. And whenever things like that happen, there should always be a clear written document showing who sent the money, the purpose, and things like that. When it comes to financial crimes, it's really not allowed. Don't land yourself into those, even by error. When we travel abroad, there's always this cultural shock. A lot of things which, conventionally might be accepted in our countries, but then somewhere else it's not accepted. For example, in some countries, especially in the Arab world, I always say public display of affection is frowned at. You are not allowed to, to kiss your girl publicly, even on Valentine's Day. It's just not allowed. Other countries have maybe they approve sexual orientation, whereas other countries simply do not allow that. So when you go to countries, try to find out about their customs and strange practices which you have to bear. Some could even be religious practices. Why not? You might not buy the idea of their religion, but then you have to respect the culture of that country. If they are going in for a strike, you are not a citizen of that country, there's really no point for you assisting or taking part, even if it means just snapping pictures. That's really not allowed. It can land you into jail. Another issue here is immigration. You need to be very, very careful when it comes to immigration police and immigration orders. Yeah, sometimes they may even want to arrest you for something which you've not done. That could be an error. And I would advise you to just accept the arrest and you clear yourself up, of course, when you go for judgment. Resisting arrest is another crime on its own and can land you into serious issues. Another very important point is when you are relating with the opposite sex, if you are a man, you need to be very, very conscious of what you are doing. Some countries, the age limit could be 18, others 20, some 16. It just depends. And some of these girls in the countries we all know, they grow very fast. And probably you want to, like we say in Pidgin, taste white man. You find yourself, you go and engage in an activity with a minor. That's a jail time. Additionally, if you really have to get into an amorous relationship, you need to have express agreement. There is nothing wrong in maybe keeping evidence of the fact that this person consented to the act. Because rape charges, assault, especially towards women, is not taken down lightly. And there is no bail when you are accused. So imagine you finding yourself for 3 years in prison for something you didn't just do or because of neglect. So please, when you're asking those girls out on these social media apps, first thing, always ask their age and always let them know. Don't assume that, because she's mature, she'll understand. No. And whenever they find themselves in your space, give them all the utmost respect. Anything you engage in should be in total consonant with each other. There are lots of other miscellaneous advice which I could give, but I would like to end here. I want to believe this one is enough for you to digest. And so if you enjoyed this video, feel free to like and subscribe to our page. And why not, if you have any question, feel free to reach out to me. Have some fun.